FC Bayern München, the powerhouse of the Bundesliga. They are the record champions, have been ever present in the top flight since 1965, and they are light years ahead on the financial front. But even the big boys of German football are capable of being upset by the little guy. Every underdog has its day, and here we take a look at the top 10 shock Bayern defeats in Bundesliga history. In the 2007-08 season, league leaders Bayern München came up against last-placed Cottbus. Top against bottom should only produce one result, but FCB were caught off guard. A certain Branko Jelic handed Cottbus a deserved victory thanks to his brace. The record champions were utterly surprised by coach Bojan Prasnikar's battling side, while Frank Ribery even missed a penalty that would have been the equaliser. Ottmar Hitzfeld's side did still end up winning the title that year though, and Cottbus went on to avoid relegation. The 6th of February 2002, Bayern are the Bundesliga title holders, Champions League winners, and fresh from their Intercontinental Cup triumph. This Wednesday evening saw them travel to Hamburg to face St. Pauli, and the Munich club was shown what's what. Strikes from Megel and then Paczynski had St. Pauli 2 goals to the good, leaving Oliver Kahn frustrated and Ottmar Hitzfeld stunned. Sanyol pulled a goal back for Bayern, but it was to no avail. The defeat spelt the end of their title charge, while St. Pauli used the win to their advantage, printing t-shirts that read "Victors against the Intercontinental Cup champions" and sold an impressive 20,000 of them. Just south of Munich is the district of Unterhaching, with a popularity of around 22,000. Almost 18 kilometers separate the Munich Olympic Stadium and Unterhaching Sportpark, and they call it the Little Derby when Giants Bayern visit their local rivals. That was the case on the 17th of February 2001, as a stadium packed with 15,000 fans witnessed 2 of the underdogs' players become heroes. Miroslav Spitzak scored the only goal of the game shortly after the break, while keeper Gerhard Tremmel saved absolutely everything that came his way. Bayern had to accept defeat, while hard-working Unterhaching got to savour the moment. The borough of Wattenscheid in the Ruhr district city of Bochum is home to the club SG Wattenscheid 09. They played in the Bundesliga between 1990 and 1994 and occasionally left the mighty Bayern frustrated. That was the case on matchday 32 in 1991. Bayern were already 1-0 up courtesy of Stefan Effenberg, but then Wattenscheid turned the game on its head. Goals from Frank Hartmann and then Uwe Neuhaus put Wattenscheid into a 2-1 lead. Bayern were still in the title hunt and responded accordingly, levelling the scores through Roland Voifart. But 1 minute before full-time, Torsten Fink popped up with the winning goal for Wattenscheid. The result saw Bayern's championship hopes go up in smoke as Kaiserslautern pulled clear at the top of the table. FCB suffered a similar fate again 2 years later, with Wattenscheid winning 2-0 this time. Ali Ibrahim and Marek Lesniak grabbed the goals for the underdogs. Bayern were certainly happy to see the back of the Bochum-based club when they were relegated in 1994, and they haven't returned since. FC Homburg and their coach Uwe Klimaszewski started the 1987-88 season with 3 straight defeats. They then had to host Bayern of all sides on matchday 4. The Munich club had won 3 Bundesliga titles in a row and were unbeaten in 26 away games. But as we all know, football isn't played on paper. Homburg were 1-0 up at the break thanks to this goal from Freiler. And while the record champions did get back level through Lothar Matthäus, super sub Wolfgang Schäfer was yet to make his mark. He netted twice in the space of 10 minutes to put Homburg 3-1 ahead. Bayern pulled a goal back through Wegmann, but it was too little too late. Homburg still ended up being relegated though, while Bayern finished as runners-up. There was a Bayern debacle in Saarland in 1977 as they were beaten a whopping 6-1. the 6th-place Reds travelled to third-bottom side Saarbrücken, and Franz Beckenbauer and co were given nightmares by Roland Stegmaier. The little striker scored 4 goals for the rank outsiders, a 6-1 win for Saarbrücken, almost incomprehensible. And they had one man in particular to thank. It was an unforgettable day for Roland Stegmaier. We're in the same season for this one, just one of the 2 campaigns that Tennis Borussia Berlin spent in the Bundesliga, and they were relegated at the end of both of them. However, they did achieve the feat of beating the mighty Bayern in their second top-flight campaign. One player stood out on this occasion too, with 2 goals from Swede Benny Wendt firing the Little Berlin club to a shock victory over the likes of Beckenbauer, Hoeneß, Rummenigge and more. Wuppertal dropped out of the Bundesliga at the end of the 1974-75 season with a mere 2 wins to their name. But one of them will go down in their club history. On matchday 5, they hosted Bayern München at the Stadion am Zoo, and the Bundesliga giants were taught a lesson. FCB travelled back to Munich with nothing after a 3-1 defeat, and the 3 points are surely something Wuppertal still treasure to this day. You'd imagine that Bayern have a positive record against everyone in the Bundesliga, but that's not quite true. Stuttgarter Kickers have faced the Munich club 4 times in top-flight history and have come away with nothing twice. However, the other 2 occasions saw the smaller club from Stuttgart leave Bayern frustrated. They were 2-0 winners at home in May 1989, but things got even better for Kickers 2.5 years later, as they recorded a sensational 4-1 win at Munich's famous Olympic Stadium. It was an unusually poor season for Bayern, with them finishing it in 10th. Stuttgarter Kickers, on the other hand, ended up being relegated at the end of the campaign and have never found their way back to the Bundesliga. The opening match day of the 1974-75 season, and defending champions Bayern faced Kickers Offenbach, who finished the previous campaign in 10th. The home side produced a major upset, beating Bayern 6-0, handing them their 2nd heaviest Bundesliga defeat ever. It was also the biggest opening day loss for a title holder, and meant that the Munich club were bottom of the Bundesliga table, the only time in their history that that was the case, even if it was just for 1 match day. Bayern ended that campaign in a disappointing 10th place, but the 70s was still a successful decade for the Reds, as they lay the foundations for a seemingly never-ending golden era.